Hi everyone. In this lesson, we're going to be solving polynomial equations. And the first way we're going to look at is solving equations by rewriting and graphing. So I list the calculator instructions here, but I'm going to demonstrate them. And what we want to do is we want to rewrite this equation before we start. We're going to move part of the equation to the right side of the equal sign. So I'm going to just move over the x and the 3, just part of it. I'm going to add x to both sides. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the left side in y sub 1, and I'm going to put the right side in y sub 2, and I'm going to find the intersection. Now, in previous videos, we talked about if you were to put the equation in just like this, you would be finding the zeros. In this type of method, if I put part on y1 and the other part in y2, I'm going to be finding the intersection instead of finding the zeros. All right, so let me show you what I mean. We're going to go to y equals, and we're going to put both of those in as I have already done. All right, now we're going to do zoom 6 for a standard window. And we're going to just calculate the intersection point. So we should have three solutions because we have 3 intersection points. 1, 2, 3. All right, so what do we have to do? We have to go to the calc feature, which means we're going to go to second trace because calc is a word above the trace button. So again, second trace to get there, and we're going to choose number 5 for intersect. We're going to move our little spider closest to the intersection that we want to find, and we're going to hit enter 3 times. First curve, enter. Second curve, enter. Guess, enter. And the first value of x we get is -3. All right, we're going to do it for the other 2 now. Second trace, number 5. Move the spider near to the intersection point you want to find. It just has to be closer to that intersection than any of the other intersection points. First curve, enter. Second curve, enter. Guess, hit enter. We get -1. And let's find the last one. Second trace, number 5. Move our little spider near that intersection. Enter, enter, enter. And we get 1. So our solutions for this one are -3, -1, and 1. All right, let's try the next one. This time I'm going to move over just the 3. So I have x cubed minus 2x squared. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. I'm going to put the left side of the equation in y1 and the right side in y2. Now notice for y sub 2, I have the negative, not a subtraction. So that's the button that I'm circling right now. It's below the number 3. If you put a subtraction there, you'd get an error. All right, we're going to do zoom 6. And notice this time we only have 1 intersection point, so we'll only have 1 value for x. Again, we're going to go to second trace for the calc feature. We're going to choose number 5. We're going to move our spider near that intersection. We're going to hit enter 3 times. And we get a value of x equals -1. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to look at factoring when you have difference of squares. And this is just practice. You just have to get used to that you're noticing right off the bat that you have the difference of squares. So if we look at the first example here, what we really have is x squared minus 3 squared. So if we have x squared minus 3 squared, we can rewrite that as x plus 3 x minus 3. And if you're not sure, you can always go back and FOIL just to see if you get back where you started. If I FOIL this, I'm going to get x squared. There's going to be no middle term because I'm going to have plus 3x minus 3x, right? So there's no middle term. And then plus 3 minus 3 is minus 9. So yeah, that does bring us back to where we started. All right, now it says factor and solve. So far we factored it. We're going to set each part equal to 0. And we're going to solve for x. So we're going to get negative 3 and x equals 3. All right, the next one, we have x squared minus 4 squared. So we're going to have x minus 4, x plus 4. Solve for x. So we're going to set each part equal to 0 again. So we're going to get x equals 4 and x equals negative 4. All right, we do have the difference of squares again with number 5. Let me rewrite that. I can write this as 2x squared minus 5 squared. So just like before, whatever was under the square is what you're writing in your binomials. For this guy, this would be the first part of each binomial, and then 5 would be the second part of each binomial. So here we would have 2x minus 5, 2x plus 5. Solve for x, set each part equal to 0. We're going to get x equals 5 halves, and x equals negative 5 halves. Again, let's rewrite number 6. This can be rewritten as 8x squared minus 7 squared. So the binomial will be 8x minus 7 and 8x plus 7. So x is equal to 7/8, and x is equal to negative 7/8. On this page, we're looking at how to factor a polynomial of higher degree using techniques that we applied when we were solving a quadratic equation. So if you notice, we've got a quartic equation here. It's raised to the 4th power. But I can sort of treat it as if it was a quadratic. Let's just rewrite it. Let's say this was x squared minus 2x minus 15. That would be really easy to factor. We would say we would do x plus 3, x minus 5, and we would be able to solve it. We'd get negative 3, and we'd get 5, right? That would be easy. But this time we have to the 4th power, and the middle term is squared. So the only difference is when we write the binomials, right? When we factor and we write the binomials, instead of using x, because we had x squared, we're going to use x squared here because this was x to the 4th. So if you were to FOIL this guy, x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. The middle term is going to be minus 5x squared plus 3x squared. That's going to give me minus 2x squared. And plus 3 times minus 5 is minus 15. So now we have x squared plus 3 equals 0. Solve it. And we have x squared minus 5 equals 0. Solve it. And we get 4 solutions. So if you have a quadratic equation, you're going to get 2 solutions. If you have a quartic equation, you're going to get 4 solutions. So whatever the degree of the polynomial is going to tell you how many solutions you should be expecting. All right, so let's take a look at some more examples here. Now, if I was thinking of this guy, and I'll just do this over here first. If this was x squared minus 2x minus 8, and I factored that, I would do x minus 4, x plus 2. All right, but that's not what we have. We have x to the 4th minus 2x squared minus 8. So I'm going to write that as x squared minus 4 and x squared plus 2. And now I'm going to set each of those equal to 0. And I'm going to solve. Now remember, this is a quartic polynomial, so I'm going to get 4 solutions. I can move the 4 over here and take the square root of both sides. That's going to give me plus or minus 2. And here, I'm going to move that 2 over. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So x is going to be equal to plus or minus. Now, that negative under the radical means that we have I in our answer because I is equal to the square root of negative 1. So this answer would be I root 2. We got 4 answers just like we were expecting. Right now at this point, I would say pause the video and try them on your own and come back when you're ready. Right, for number 8, our solutions are plus or minus I root 6 and plus or minus I. Right, for number 9, your solutions are plus or minus root 5 and plus or minus I root 2. For number 10, the solutions are plus or minus 2 and plus or minus I root 3. I just gave you a lot of these just so you could get some practice so that you could get good at recognizing them and knowing exactly what to do. Practice is going to help you always with understanding how the best way to approach factoring a polynomial is. For number 11, solutions are plus or minus 3i and plus or minus I root 2. All right, last one we have here, this is the difference of two squares. So this is x squared squared minus 9 squared. All right, so that becomes x squared minus 9 and x squared plus 9. Set each part equal to 0 and solve. And for number 12, final answer, plus or minus 3 and plus or minus 3i. All right, that's everything for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.